Hello, good people, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever this may find you. I am your hostess, Val, with GoAskVal, and I feel like I have a more concise um, message of who I am, what I'm, and what am I conveying. I'm gonna spit it out. Give me a second. Learn not to take myself so seriously. Learning to practice. But someone had asked me about a bio that I have up, and they asked me to explain it. I had to go back and look and see what I had written because I've changed it several times, and I'm going to read it to you, and then hopefully I'll be able to, um, give more of a narrative. And so I spoke about metaphysics in the bio, and so I said metaphysics gets to the root of reality that is invisible and sources our visible reality and existence. Let me read that again. So, metaphysics gets to the root of reality. It is the invisible source of our visible reality. So, it's like the roots to the tree. Life is measured by numbers and programming them in sequence in a particular order. And I have cracked the so called matrix code to that. I want to talk to those who find it interesting so we can truly practice changing aspects of our life that aren't working for us as individuals, as family, or community. Our biggest holdback seems to be effective communication and finances. If we know and choose what we are willing to forego to be debt free and living healthy and wealthy, I believe we can do the things that matter most. And I asked, was that clear? And again, as I was reading, I kind of, edited and moved some words around because it's definitely not as clear as uh, I'm saying it right now. So I asked him, was it clear? He said some of it. So I basically responded again that it's easier to say and practice than it is to write. But basically, what I'm saying is um, giving details. When we give details to our life, beyond saying things like, I'm living my best life. If we give details to that, then we come closer to truly living our best life and practicing our best life, not just, the social media facade. And so that is my opening right now to this morning cup of Jill. I believe it starts with, again, shifting up our words. That's why I typed in a cup of Jill versus a cup of Joe. I put up a cup of Jack in the last video that I just did. And we've lived, to me, on a very numb scale. Um, when you're numb, you don't always feel the pain. And I'm practicing making the connections between the violence in the world and some of the metaphysical jargon about the world being a program, a simulation, and etc. Well, let us change the program. If we are the players in the game, we have the ability to change the program based on numbers, based on the sequence of those numbers. Those things do not change. Um, what we count as units of the number two or the number three, that does not change from uh, business to business, from person to person. Those are the things that are static. That's why we call them statistics. They are the consistent things throughout our world. Even more consistently is our music. The keys on a keyboard do not change from culture to culture. The piano over here is the piano over there. And so music is said to be the universal language. I asked a person that is very musically inclined, and I was hoping that the answer they gave me was the one that was going to allow me to, give my findings on our general error, ERROR, our general mistake when we talk about music. And so I asked him, how many notes do we have on a uh, music scale? How many different notes are on the piano? And he says, I believe 8. And again, that's the number that I wanted him to say, which is not the right number. Um, and again, this is coming from someone I know is familiar with music and the keyboard. First of all, from the aspect of what he was coming from, it would be 7, because 8 from C to C, the next octave of C is the same note. However, he went on to correct his mistake by saying, unless you count the high notes, or the what he called the flats and the sharps. And that's when I told him, bingo. I said, that is the challenge, especially as Black people. We don't count ourselves in when it comes to the harmony of life. And we are the ones, the 5 uh, high notes, if you will. We are the ones that bring in a level of soul to the piano. I believe that soulful music, Negro spiritual is the word I was looking for. Negro spiritual music was usually played with the black keys. There are 5 black keys and 7 ivory keys. And so there are 12 different notes on the piano. To me, that again relates to the 12 uh, zodiac signs and the 12 months of the year, the 12 disciples. Again, to me, these are archetypes, but it's the whole point is it covers all of your bases. Anything after that will just be a repeat on a higher level. But we as people of color, and to me, everyone has color, to be honest. But we that are Black, we that have been labeled as African American, Negro, colored, melanated, we have a responsibility to look at the big picture, see that it's not that very big at all. We can count up to 12. Anything after that is, again, repetition. Anything after 9 is repetition. Or I would say 10, having 10 fingers and 10 toes. My point, whether it's finances, effective communication, and relationship between one and the other, those are basic if we are in tune with knowing the rudiments. 0 to 9 is actually 10 units. C to C on the scale of music is an octave. That octave is 8. So again, that infinity, and now you're back again. But that does not, on the music scale, include the black keys. So I believe it is important for us to know and to apply that. You don't have to be musically inclined or believe that you're musically inclined to know that you want harmony in your life. So I believe that should be mandated. We should not look at music as an option. We are singing our song, even if we're doing it without a melody behind us, even if we are doing it without, again, this musical kind of inclination. Everything that we do, it is a kind of song. It is a note. There is space between our movement. And so, to me, when you talk about that, because it is more abstract in our speaking, then it is on the more metaphysical level. We don't look at as you see in the Matrix, we don't always see people's aura and their vibration. We're not taught that we should be able to see that. Children, animals, they tend to be aware along the lines of more feeling than visibly seeing. And I believe even at a younger age, when you're like baby, watch babies, you will watch them looking and kind of following what a lot of people say are angels in the room. Uh, and so again, you watch them, their eyes kind of go from one spot to another, and they're literally, they look like they're being entertained. So that is my video, I guess, for the most part. That is this audio today. Is if this kind of information interests you, please do thumb it up, give me a comment, reach out to me would be even more ideal, because the whole point in having these answer keys to our life is to apply it. It's not just to talk about the metaphysical life. It's not just to talk about the invisible. It is to understand or understand or comprehend that which is going on in the inside, that which is going on beneath the surface, what we call the subconscious, can be brought up to the consciousness. And if we don't deal with that which is going on beneath the surface, then the fruit, the manifestation, the outward appearance, whether it's debt or bad relationships or poor health, those are the manifestations. Those are the fruits of what's going on beneath the surface. So if we acknowledge all 12 notes on the piano scale as valid, as whole notes, not just half steps as it pertains to the other notes, but top keys are whole, representing people. 5 is the number of grace. 7 is the number of completion. 12 is the number of God's government on the earth, or in the earth, however you perceive it. So thank you for listening. I appreciate you, and look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Take care and talk to you soon.